What's up, guys? Mr. Reviews back again for the fourth time today. um, anyway, yeah, just got a phone call from a friend I haven't heard in a very long time, so that's cool. Anyway, it was actually perfect timing for the end of the last video, the 360 collection. So, lastly, I did say I'd go through my relatively small, but in my opinion, pretty good anime collection. So yeah, let's get started with that. I mean, something that I'm not really. I haven't even watched these yet, but I do have the first two parts of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. Actually, what's the first one? Go with the Flow, which is episodes 1 through 6, and Fighting for a Friend, which is episodes 7 through 12. I don't know how many volumes of this there are or something, because I swear it only is like one series, I think, from what I've seen online. Because, of course, online I've downloaded the original first 5 seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! The original shit that used to air on like, I think it was like every weekday actually. I still have stashed away somewhere the 3 or 4 parts. Each part has like a couple of episodes. I think each part only has 4 episodes. For those on VHS, on freaking videotape, of the original season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway, I have all 5 seasons complete of Yu-Gi-Oh! On my computers, or my hard drive actually now. But yeah, the original Pokemon, man, the original freaking Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially season 1, nostalgia just coming back, and then like I'm up to season 3 now of the original. Actually, I stopped watching it, as well as, like I was just saying, Pokemon. I stopped watching that too, because but actually, surprisingly enough, the original Pokemon with the original characters, Ash, Misty, and Brock, are both 5 seasons long, and for some reason, I think I just like burnt out on both of them. But yeah, like I was saying, Pokemon, I have every single one of the first 5 series. I'm pretty sure only the first 5 seasons, which, as I said, are the ones with Ash, Misty, and Brock, have been re-released in these metal cases, and they're this year actually. 2013. Originally made 97 to 98. At least for season 1 and 2, I know that much. But yeah, the original Pokemon season 1, Indigo League. Then you have season 2, which is Adventures on the Orange Islands. Which for this, I'm actually up to disc 3. Each season is 6 discs. I'm up to disc 3 at the moment for season 2. I actually went through the first 2 discs like ages ago. Like I think maybe 2 months ago now. It's been a long fucking time. Then you got the Johto Journeys, which is season 3. No, this is still 97 and 98 apparently. I bet that's wrong. But yeah, Johto Journeys. I'm going to put these all separately because they're metal cases and they're really heavy and they crush each other. Then you got Johto League Champions. Johto League Champions. Which is still 97 and 98 apparently. Holy shit. Did they actually make all these seasons in the same friggin' 2 years? Yeah, same thing, 97, 98 for the final one, which is Master Quest. That's a badass name, I'm not gonna lie. And as I was saying, it is 5 seasons. As far as I'm aware, season 6, I'm pretty sure I saw a copy of season 6 from JB Hi-Fi, of course. I saw a copy of season 6, and I think that was the first one where it was Ash with a totally new character as his, sidekicks, as his side characters and shit. And anyway, the description on the back of Master Quest, with the is it Olivine? With the Olivine City Gym temporarily out of commission, our heroes are off to the World Cup competition, and Misty wants in on the action. Resuming their journey, they find that Jesse, James, and Meowth aren't the only members of Team Rocket they need to worry about, though that dastardly trio still has a few tricks up their collective sleeve. After a heated battle with the final gym leader, Ash moves on to the Silver Conference. But does he have the medal to take on his old rival Gary? So yeah, as far as I'm aware, I think this is the last season of the original crew. And I'd like to know if everything regarding Gary, if everything with their whole rivalry ends with this one. Not 100% sure about that. Haven't gone through all of it yet because every season, all 5, are 52 episodes long across 6 discs, DVDs, and they all go for 19 hours. So yeah, it's a huge time sink, huge time investment to get through those. These other 5, however, aren't anywhere near as big of a time sink. First off, I'll go through this one, since the other 3, or technically 4, since one of them is 2 seasons, but the other 3 stories / animes are all related, and we'll get to that when we get to them. But the first one is its own thing, and is actually quite popular, and I'm sure a bunch of you might actually know what I'm talking about. That is Death Note Collection. This is the entirety of the anime in one box. It's 9 DVDs. Contains the entire 37 episode series, as seen on ABC2 TV, based on the best-selling manga. Yeah, Death Note is the shit. I love Death Note. This is the anime that got me into anime. I got this off my friend when I was still in high school, way back. Whoa, glare much, because the cover's really dark. My friend gave me this on file on my computer, on computer and all that shit, when I was still in high school. Of course, our high school laptops are really small, really lightweight, so I can just, have it laying on my chest and, just watch shit while I'm in bed. So, I was just, laying in bed, spend a day in or whatever, going through the entirety of Death Note, and it really got me into anime. I tried for ages to find anime that me personally, I could get into. Things like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, they hold a nostalgic place in my heart, definitely. But when it comes to things such as, current day anime that's actually good and that I personally would enjoy, in other words, somewhat based in reality, something that could very well happen, but hey, they have something that's kind of bullshit, and that shit could never happen, anything Japanese, really. But it's grounded in reality, Light Yagami, the main character, this guy right here, on that side. Let's try and get a little bit closer. There's Light and L. Light's just a typical high school student when he gets the Death Note, and and he just wants to make a better world by eliminating all the criminals. So he writes all criminals' names in the Death Note, and that's the premise behind the whole series. Is that? But yeah, I loved Death Note. Death Note was such a good series, and I actually haven't watched it on DVD yet. I haven't watched any of this stuff. Actually, no, well, that's a lie. Disc 1 actually has some of, if not all of the special features on it, including the first few episodes. And I did watch those special features, because obviously I've never seen that before. But I have watched marathon through this anime a number of times, as well as all of these other ones too. But yeah, Death Note is really awesome. Hey, here's some images on the back. Great anime, seriously. If you want anime to get you into anime, wow, freaking anime pose right there. Not sure about these other 4, if they would necessarily really get you into anime. First off, they are a little... We'll get to them when we talk about them. But Death Note in particular, it's action-packed. Anyone would love it. The premise is great. So if you're really not sure about anime, if you want to try and get into it, I highly recommend Death Note. This is the collection. Again, like Pokemon, this is from JB Hi-Fi. This entire collection, box set, 9 DVDs, was $75 Australian, of course. So if you live here in Australia, go get it for $75. Highly recommended. I'll go through the prices for these too. These are also from JB Hi-Fi. Actually, a bunch of these, like all the Pokemon and shit, and Death Note. I'm not going to go into it because I don't really want to talk about it in particular here. But the last 2 to 3 months were pretty damn hectic, with a lot of free shit coming my way. Pokemon and Death Note being included in that. Actually, and those 2 Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexals as well. But they went from JB. Only the Pokemon and the Death Note were. But all of these I legitimately purchased, and I'm glad that I did, because my support goes all the way to Kyoto Animation, the guys at Kyoto Animation, and of course their animes based off visual novels created by Key/Visual Arts. We'll start off with Air, which is the first one that they did. If anything, to be perfectly honest, Air is the weakest out of all three that they've done, with the last one being 2 seasons. Air's alright. I mean, it's not bad at all. It's one of the first animes that Kyoto Animation... I don't 100% want to say that, necessarily, but on Wikipedia they have all their shit listed, and according to dates as well. And this is one of the first ones that they did. And I'm pretty sure that's true, because everything since then has been like 24 episodes per season, but the first couple of things, including this, were only 12 episodes per season or per series. And Air was only 12 episodes. Or 12 episodes in the main actual, like, you know, in the anime, the main actual episodes, there are only 12. And then there are 2 OVAs and 1 summary episode. The summary episode was never released outside of Japan, apparently. And of course, this obviously being licensed and distributed by Madman and Funimation worldwide, in English and everything. This only contains 14 episodes over the 3 discs. Doesn't have the recap, just has the full season, 12 episode season, or series, I should say, on discs 1 and 2, and then of course the last disc, which is In Summer, which includes the 2 OVAs. It's an entire DVD for 2 episodes. It's crazy. Where does it say it? There it is, In Summer. It includes 2 OVAs. So essentially, as well as how the visual novel goes and stuff, there are 3 paths in the visual novel, 3 separate stories and shit. First, it goes through the main character. I always forget because I'm not a huge fan of Air as much as the other ones. Whereas I know for a fact that Mitsuzu is the main character, the blonde chick on the front. Blonde chick. But yeah, the blonde cutie on the front. There she is on the back as well. Oh, there you go. That's Misuzu. Yukito. That's it. The main character's name is Yukito. The first part, and like, what is it? Episodes 1 through 9, I think it is. Out of 12. Is that right? No, episodes 1 through 8. I'm really not sure about this now. 1 through 6, episodes 1 through 6 is the story of Yukito meeting up with Misuzu. Anyway, I think I'll just read the summary on the back to best describe this series. Anyway, welcome to 1000. I can't talk. I've been talking for way too long. Welcome to the 1000th summer. Yukito is a traveling performer. He moves through his world with only the clothes on his back, driven onward by stories of the girl in the sky. Not knowing when or if he will find her, Yukito wanders, clinging to fleeting hope. Destitute and near starvation, Yukito's life changes after the eccentric beauty Misuzu offers him food and shelter. This fragile treasure shares with him her dreams of a life lived amongst the clouds, and he listens closely out of a gratitude which soon gives way to rapt curiosity. The unlikely pair grow close, but Yukito cannot forget his destiny or his past. In the end, the compelling need to find her remains. Who is the girl in the sky? Does she even exist? The questions run rampant, but the answers float aimlessly through the air. Contains 14 episodes over 3 discs. So yeah, that's basically the summary of the show. You know, it's just Yukito's looking for the girl in the sky. It indeed ends up being Misuzu. Basically, what's going on is that the girl in the sky is basically shit that happens. So episodes 1 through 6 is that story at first, Yukito meeting Misuzu, and then all the shit that happens between them, all that stuff. Then episodes 7 and 8 are so 2 episodes are based in summer 1,000 summers back way back when, which is one of his ancestors, one of Yukito's ancestors, looking after the original winged girl, and shit goes down, and basically she ends up getting a curse where she'll have to be she'll come back to life all the time, like reincarnated, and she'll have to live alone. Otherwise, as soon as she starts getting close to people and shit, she'll die, basically. And it keeps happening over and over again, which is really sad. And then the last story, which is episodes 9 through 12, is about a crow, basically. And from what I gathered, the crow has the memory of that ancestor from all the way back. Like his spirit is in the bird or something. Like he's continued to reincarnate, I guess. And he's a crow. And Miss Suzu ends up finding the crow and looks after it and shit. But yeah, so it's a common theme with all of these. They're all really sad stories, honestly, and really touching stories too. That's for damn sure. Anyway, the next one that Kyoto Animation did, which originally had a shorter series based on it by, who was it? Toei Animation, I think it was. To be perfectly honest, it doesn't look very great, in my opinion, especially compared to the Kyoto Animation version of Canon. This was the last one that I, at first, downloaded and watched, and then, of course, bought this copy off JB Online. That goes for all, these three. Air I found in JB, in a JB not my area, for $30. Canon was $40, and these other two that we'll get to after this were $75 each. But yeah, so Canon is awesome. So I'll just read it back in anyway. So, is this all just a dream? Yuichi hasn't seen his cousin Nayuki in years. Now that he's back, all knowledge of ever visiting has vanished. He tries to adjust to the vaguely familiar surroundings, but the gaps in his memory haunt him as time grows short. The pieces of the puzzle have appeared, an eerily silent beauty with blazing trees. With blazing tresses. The mysterious girl with the winged backpack, and the sword-wielding demon slayer. But it's up to Yuichi to discover how they fit together. And basically, Canon's about Yuichi Aizawa, who comes back to this town where his cousin lives. He used to visit there every single winter for his winter break and all that. And then something ends up going down, which I won't give away because it's the whole fucking focus of the entire series. Something, like, I'll just say, something really bad happens, and so he doesn't end up coming back for 7 years. Like, last time he was there, he was 10 years old. He's 17 in the events of Canon, and he meets all of these girls along the way. Well, up there we've got Nayuki, which is his cousin. So of course, then we've got Ayu, Chuo, Mai, Makoto, and Mai has a friend called Sayuri. She is what? Shiori, I think it is. I always get it confused because they're very similar names. But yeah, so he ends up meeting all these girls again, and everything starts to click back in his mind. Like, where's he met them before? What can he remember? He's trying to remember, about them. Did I used to hang out with this person? Oh yeah, I did. Okay, well, why are we so close, or why do you think we're so close, and all that sort of shit. And it goes through all that. So yeah. Once again, like Air, it's a very sad, or much more so than Air, I'd say. It's fairly sad. One of the biggest emotions that you'll experience. While watching the show. But it's got a lot happier of an ending compared to the next one, which is the last show based off a visual novel by Key/Visual Arts that they did, and that is Clannad. This is the first anime based off of Key's works that I ever saw. I downloaded it. I was looking for just awesome Japanese visual novels that have English translated, or that have been translated into English, or that have English translation patches. Someone mentioned Clannad, and Clannad is obvious. Clannad. I hear that's Clannad. Maybe. I think it's Clannad. That's just how I say it. That's how I pronounce it personally. But anyway. So Clannad, someone mentioned it in a thing, like someone, I watched a YouTube video where it's like a top 10 visual novels and shit, and someone was like, oh yeah, and Clannad, man, that's so awesome. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll look it up. You know, of course, obviously being from Japan, I was like, well, of course, it's probably only in Japan, so I'll look up a download for it. The thing that actually came up was the anime, and I'm like, okay, what the hell is talking about an anime? What the fuck? And after I ended up watching the anime, I ended up looking everything up. So I actually have Clannad, full voice, Canon, and Tomoyo After It's a Wonderful Life. Tomoyo After is sort of like a pseudo sequel to Clannad that Key did. It came out directly after Clannad, if I remember correctly, although it was their game after Clannad. But I have all three of those with really good fan translations. So yeah, it's really awesome. And I've been playing the shit out of all three of those, especially recently. But anyway, Clannad, man, this show is so good. Once again, based off visual novel by Key, you know, more than anything, I think it's because I've experienced these stories as animes first, that I find it a lot more fun to just watch these. Because it, obviously being a visual novel, it's all just story. So it's very story heavy, of course. But anyway, Clannad, let's go through this. But yeah, everything seemed like a dream, and eventually I forgot everything. Tomoyo Okazaki is depressed at the prospect of school. His days are spent considering the path which lies ahead of him, the shadow of his vacant alcoholic father constantly looming over his daily void. He meets a group of strange girls at his school, each with unique social problems, and begins to gain perspective on the deep loneliness he feels. When the drama club is established, paranormal turmoil unfolds, and hearts are broken. And then it goes into produced by Kyoto Animation, Aaron Cannon, and adapted from the visual novel, by Key. Clannad sets a new benchmark for anime, uniting intricately constructed story arcs with an immersive, vivid atmosphere. A dreamlike supernatural air converges with a deep-rooted sense of humanity to give Clannad complex emotional impact. And my god, they're fucking right about that. And they have like 2 summaries from Anime News Network and from DVD Talk. And anyway, Anime News Network said, Clannad hits home with sudden and surprisingly effective emotional intensity. And DVD Talk said, highly recommended. This range of emotions Clannad takes you through is quite daunting. It's charming, cute, hilarious, mysterious, and tragic all at the same time. Few shows are as memorable, and few are this good for this long. And that could never be truer. Could never be further from the truth. Clannad just doesn't get old, and you just get engaged in it easily. Like, instantly, you're just like, wow, this is awesome, and you never get bored, you know. Anyway, the front cover. Here are all the main heroines of Clannad, and they are Nagisa. Nagisa there in the middle, who is essentially, obviously in the visual novel, in the anime, it's obviously all based on the true way through the game. But in the game, obviously, Nagisa is the proper canon. No reference to the other show. The proper canon, love interest, girlfriend of Tomoya, the main character. Anyway, this silver-haired girl over here is Tomoyo. The exact same name, change the A to an O though. Sometimes it can get confusing. Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, the main character Tomoya. Oh wait, fucking Tomoya. My bad. That always freaking happens. At least at me. Then you've got Kotomi down there, and then up in the top you have sisters Kyo and Yo Fujibayashi. Yeah, fuck. Stumbling on my words again. Anyway, yeah. So that's Clannad, and man, I gotta say, I mean, obviously these cost $75, which is drastically. I mean, Air was 3 discs and it was $30. Okay, $10 a disc. Canon was 4 discs and it was $40. Okay, again, $10 a disc. These are 6 discs. Clannad and its sequel. And so that would be like 60, right? But it's 75, so it's an additional $15, which is a little bit weird. But I gotta say, the art on these, like, seriously awesome stuff. Then of course you got the blurb from the back of the box again. Obviously, as I was showing, this is just a box that holds everything. But anyway, just get this shit out because I actually want to show these. I freaking love the bloody quality of Clannad and its and the second season after story. So here we've got Yo and Tomoyo on the inside cover. As you can see, like bloody hell, the freaking but then the wrong one. The overall quality, like, $75 for these was definitely worth it. Oh shit. The artwork is just absolutely awesome. And then again, see, every disc has one of the one of the heroines or on each of the discs, which is awesome. I'm not going to go through that for every single one because that would just fucking take forever. But then, of course, on the front of part 2, obviously there's 3 discs in each of the things, and they are labeled as part 1 and 2. Part 1 being episode 1 through 12, part 2 13 to 24. There you go. Kyo on the front. Kyo is by far. It's a real mix-up. I really like Naoki from Canon, to be perfectly honest. But Kyo is the fucking shit. But yeah, I think Clannad is just I do like Canon more than Clannad, just the story in general, and it has a much happier ending, that's for sure. I felt a lot more satisfied with Canon's ending, I'll say that much. And I just connected with Canon on a much more emotional level, to be perfectly honest. Clannad is still that good because to me, as I was reading on the back cover, Tomoyo, I was like, Tomoyo, fuck. I said that happened. Tomoyo, he's a delinquent. He's pretty much going through a really hard time and shit. Through high school and stuff. It's exactly what happened to me. I had a hard time during high school. I ended up becoming a delinquent in year 11, and then I ended up dropping out. So yeah, and he even discusses that with Tsunohara. He's like his best friend, who's also a delinquent. And I also had a best friend who actually had the same name as me. Who was essentially again just like Tsunohara in that way. So yeah. Oh. Anyway, shit. Here is the follow-on from that, Clannad After Story. Essentially, Clannad itself, the game, has Clannad, which is just obviously the new game selection. Once you beat every single pathway in Clannad, you unlock an option called After Story. And that continues on into the future, beyond high school, after they all graduate. Tomoya ends up getting married to Nagisa. They end up having a child. Bad shit goes down. I don't want to spoil it because it'll ruin the emotional impact when you start watching it. So just trust me, go watch it. It is so good. Hell yeah. So After Story, and the actual description on the back is a lot smaller, so it'll be a lot faster actually. But anyway, are these the same quotes on both of them? Yeah, they are the same quote. Everything seemed like a dream, and eventually I forgot everything. But anyway, an alternate path opens up for Tomoya and Nagisa as they enter their second semester. My bad, it starts there. And head towards graduation. Beyond school, they look forward to a family of their own, though not without facing hardships and ultimately tragedy. After Story follows on from the original series and further expands on the themes of family, trust, and empathy. And then Anime Planet said, a touching drama, beautiful romance, and hilarious yet filling comedy, all in one measure, building magnificently on its predecessor to end with a wonderful overture. And definitely After Story was really sad. I'm not gonna lie. I might seem like a pussy or some shit, but I fucking cried during After Story big time. It really is an emotional series. Actually, everything from freaking even Canon, even Air. I cried during those as well. They are very emotionally engaging, and they're really sad. But Key, they know how to do some of the best stories. Just period. Of course, people like my mom aren't gonna watch this. It's anime. It's cartoons, it's Japanese cartoons. If they were to do live action films, like proper actual movies of these, holy shit, so many people would get into these stories, because they are just And as I said, they are on such an emotional level that they're really good. Anyway, on the front here we have once again, I forgot the name. Shit. What's her name? Fuck. Whatever. But once again, beautiful, artwork throughout. Different characters on each of the discs and all that. Very well done. And here is on part 2. Obviously, part 1, episodes 1 through 12 again, and then part 2, which is episodes 13 to 25 this time, because they have a overall sort of a summary episode at the very end, which pretty much summarizes all of season 1 in a story that Tomoya is telling his daughter Yushio. Anyway, the front of part 2 is Nagisa now that she's an adult and stuff, and a mother, and Yushio, and Nagisa and Tomoya's daughter. But as I said, fantastic artwork on this packaging. I absolutely love it. But yeah, so that's basically it. That's my my small physical collection. Of course, I have a bunch of other animes that either I have downloaded, like by not necessarily legal means, or on my Xbox. So honorable mentions to things like Sekirei and School Rumble I have on my Xbox, and High School of the Dead, actually. That's another great show. And what did I download? I downloaded Persona 4, the animation. They made an anime on Persona 4, which is awesome. And I have all of these on my JB Hi-Fi wish list, which comes up to a total. Only the DVD versions, not even Blu-ray. Just the DVD versions come up to a total of like $400. That's fucking ridiculous. Actually, shit, at the same time, I totally forgot that I actually wanted those. I wanted to get a bunch of that for my birthday. I totally forgot about that. Oh well. Holy shit, how much do I still have left on my card? I wonder if I can get School Rumble. Anyway, whatever. Let's just end this. That's another half an hour, so woof. If you managed to get through all of this, awesome. So anyway, that's my PS2 collection, my 360 collection, and my anime collection as of today, which is the 15th of October 2013. Alright, well, I'll see you guys later. As I mentioned in the beginning of part 1 of my PS2 collection, the first video today. The next video will be on Friday, the 18th of October, which is apparently the day my first game that I ordered off eBay will come for a mystery unboxing, and we'll see what that game is. Alright, well, see you guys then.